Good evening, pre-algebra. Welcome to your flipped lesson for December 7th, 2011. Oh, is it 60? No, 70 years since Pearl Harbor. Is that right? Wow, the 70th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Amazing. All right, 1941, December 7th. Yeah, wow. Okay, today we are going to be working on translating and solving equations and inequalities. Okay, now you have to read carefully to be good at these. They are not that difficult. I will walk you through a couple. Hold on and let me get one up. Here's the first example. A number increased by 10 is 12. We need to turn this English language into a math language. In other words, into an equation. All right, it is really easy to do, but you have to take step by step and figure out what things in the sentence mean what. For example, I see a number. Uh-oh, I'm not in write mode. I see a number. I don't know what the number is, so I'm going to call it X. Some kids like to call it N for the number, and that's fine. Just like when we find the nth term, they use N. You can use X, you can use N. It doesn't matter which one. Increased. To increase would be to add. How much are we going to increase it? We're going to increase it by 10. Is means equals. How much is going to equal? It's going to equal 12. So I need a number, X or N. I need to increase it by 10. That has to equal 12. And look at that, I have a one-step equation. I'll use my 5 questions, and actually only 4 in this case, and I will listen to Saddam, who tells me to undo the subtraction, undo addition with subtraction, excuse me, and when I do that, I will get X equals 2. Therefore, the number is 2. It's pretty simple. Let's look at a second example that'll have a few more words in it. Example number 2. Okay, let's look at this example. 5 more than a number doubled is 21. Well, again, I'm always going to start with the variable. I need a number. Well, I'll call it n this time, n for number. Now, I don't start at the beginning of the sentence. I always start with the number. And I have to double my number. Well, how do I double a number? That would be 2 times that number, or in this case, 2n. If I want to double 3, it's 6, right? 2 times 3 is 6. If I want to double 5, it's 10. 2 times 5 is 10. My number is n because I don't know it, so I double it 2 times that number, so 2n. Now I need 5 more than that number. Well, that means I'm going to add 5. But be careful, I am not going to go 5 plus 2n. I'm going to take the number doubled and then add 5 to it. Okay, is another important word. It means equals. How much does it equal? 21. I have a 2-step equation. I can solve it. All right, there are some kids that can do this kind of stuff in their head, but not many can. It's so much easier if you just translate it and then figure it out. I'm going to listen to Saddam. A lot of you don't like to listen to Saddam. In math, we need to. If he were alive and well and leading our country, we would not want to listen to him. He was an evil man. But in math class, we need to listen to Saddam. And yes, I know it's not spelled the same way. Thank you very much. Saddam tells me to undo the addition first, so I will undo addition with subtraction. Now, I didn't put my Great Wall in. Maybe I should do that because some of you forget to do that. Put my Great Wall in. And when I do that, I will get 2n, the 5's cancel, equals 16. N is still not alone. Saddam tells me to undo the multiplication by division. I'll divide each side by 2. All right, those will cancel. n will end up equaling 8. So therefore my number is 8. The number is 8. Let's look at another example. And this one, you'll see why I didn't write 5 plus on this example. 3 less than a number times 4 is 13. What is the number? Again, I'm going to start with the number. Whoa, I must not be in right mode. There we go, that's a little better. A number, that would be n or x. You can use any variable you want except for o, because we can't tell if it's an o or it's 0. I need to multiply by 4. So that'll become 4n, right? Now jumping over here to the beginning, it says 3 less. Now stop and think a minute. Let's play a little game here. I'm going to name a number. You see if you can tell me what 3 less than that number is. In fact, let me jump to a new page for our little game. All right, the number is 13. What's 3 less? Hopefully you said 10. How'd you get there? Oh, I subtracted 3. Okay, let's try again. The number is 30. What number is 3 less? Hopefully you said 27. My question to you is, how did you get there? I subtracted 3. All right, let's try again. 100. What number is 3 less than 100? Hopefully you know that it's 97. One more time, how did you get there? I subtract 3. So the words 3 less actually mean to minus 3. They do not mean 3 minus. Do you understand? When it says 3 less, you have to take 3 away from whatever the number is. So let's jump back to our problem. Okay, I need a number, n, times 4, 4n. I need 3 less than that number. Well, I need to subtract 3 from there. Is equals 13. And I have a two-step equation. This is easy stuff. All right, Saddam will tell me to add 3 to both sides first. Hold on, let me put my Great Wall in. All right. When I add 3 to both sides, I will get 4n. The 3's will cancel, and I'll be equal to 16. The n is not alone. I'll divide by 4, n will equal 4. The number must be 4. All right, let's take a look at some that would end up with inequalities, like less thans or greater thans. So, let me get a problem here. Okay, this problem says 2 less than the quotient of a number and 3 is at most 10. What is the number? Got to be careful with this one. Okay, again, I'm going to start with my number. 2 less than the quotient of a number. So my number is n. I need the quotient. What does quotient mean? It means divide. The quotient of a number and 3. That means I'm going to take n divided by 3. You could have written it this way and divided by 3 and you'll get the same result. I like the fraction form. So the quotient of a number and 3. When I have quotient or product or sum, I have to know what two things I'm adding together. So it'll say the quotient of, and then the two numbers will be listed in some form right after that. All right, now at the beginning it says 2 less than the quotient. Well, from the previous problem, we know that 3 less means to subtract 3, not to 3 minus. Therefore, 2 less must be to take away 2. So we're going to take away 2 from the quotient. Is at most. Is at most. That's a tricky one. Is at most 10. Is at most. Well, let's see. I know I'm going to have a 10 over here. And I know that this thing right here, it could be 10, but it could be no more than 10 because it says at most. Could be 9.5, could be 9, could be 8, could be 0. Oh, so it sounds like this n over 3 minus 2 is less than or equal to 10. At most is going to mean less than or equal to 10. Now it's just a two-step inequality. This should be a piece of cake by now, all the time that we've been spending on this. Of course, there are some of you that are working hard, and this will be easy, but there are some of you that have a lot of trouble staying up on the videos, and that is going to make it more challenging. All right, well, let me see here. I have to listen to Saddam. Saddam will tell me to undo the subtraction before I undo the division. So I'll undo the subtraction first. Oops, I forgot my Great Wall again. Pardon me. And when I undo the subtraction, I end up with n over 3 is less than or equal to 12. All right, now I have to undo the division. I'll undo that by multiplying. The 3's will cancel, leaving me with n is less than or equal to 36. So a number divided by 3, take away 2, is at most 10. That number is 36. Okay, and it has to be less than or equal to 36. It works for any number in all of counting as long as the number is 36 or lower. If I put that on a number line, I'll have a 36 here. It'll be a closed point. Why? Sarah Mader should be able to tell you. It's a closed point because of the equals, less than or equal to. I need numbers less than 36. Those numbers are to the left of 36. I think Heather Gerald would like to put a few numbers in, like say maybe 20 and then 40. And she knows that 20 is less than 36, so she shades towards the 20. She knows 40 is not less than 36, so she did not shade towards the 40. All right, let's look at one more example, and then we'll review some of our important terms. Hold on. Okay, here's your fifth example. It says that 6 more than the product of 7 and a number is greater than 48. Well, there's my number n. What do I need to do with n? I need the product. That means multiply. What two things am I going to multiply? Of 7 and a number. Oh, I think that would mean 7 times n. So I'm going to do 7n. The product of 7 and a number, 7n. 6 more than n amount means to add 6. So I'll add 6 to that number. Is greater than 48. Greater than 48. All right, it's a two-step inequality. Should be a piece of cake. Should be easy. First thing I'm going to do, listen to Saddam. Oh, and I'll put my Great Wall in. I'm going to subtract 6. If you're wondering why, addition needs to be undone before multiplication. My new equation becomes 7n greater than 42. The n is not alone. I'll divide each side by 7. Divide by 7. So then n will be greater than 6. So n can be any number greater than 6. On a number line, I'll put 6 on. Maybe I'll put 10. I'll put 2 over here. It will be an open point because it does not say equals here. There is no equals. It's only a greater than. And I need the numbers to be greater than 6. Well, the numbers greater than 6 are to the right of 6. And there you go. It's that simple. All right. Let's take a quick review of some words to watch out for. Here's some terms that show up often. This list is not exclusive. There are many terms that you need to know. Some of them have been on our board for several weeks. But here's some of the more common ones. 3 less, that means to minus 3. 5 more, that means to add 5. Increased means to add. Decreased means to subtract. At most would be a less than or equal to. At least, that'd be a greater than or equal to. A sum is the answer to an addition problem. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Give me 1 second here. The difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. And the quotient, oh no, wrong one, is the answer to a division problem. You have to know the language to be able to do the math. Math is not simply numbers. In fact, in some of my college classes, when I was taking higher level math, the only numbers in the problems were the numbers on the pages of the book. There were no numbers involved, or very few numbers, in some of the problems. All right, so this is a little bit longer than the typical video, but I think you guys can handle it. You might want to watch parts of this more than once to review how to do it. We'll get some practice in class tomorrow. All right, this is Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.